Hey gang, I want to give you a quick tour of a little router table that I put together. Getting ready to move to another shop, and I have not had a router table previously, and I'm going to be building a router cabinet when I get there, but I'm going to need something to build my cabinet, so I whipped this thing together. Got crazy, threw my logo on it. I usually build instruments. These are vacuum ports to allow air to come through at the bottom and clear up the dust and stuff that comes down into the unit. Now, I've built a couple CNC machines in the past, so that's what I use for parts, for rails and bearings. These are big block bearings, and then the rails keeps everything dead solid. And then I use threaded rod, or I'm sorry, I use ball thread instead of threaded rod because it operates so much faster. One turn of the Allen wrench up top moves the router about 3/16 of an inch. Plus, it doesn't slip up and down. It's a much more solid, tight fit. Tore apart an old 50-year-old Black & Decker horse and a half router and use that for the motor. And when I want to change plates, I just crank it up and I let the top of the router hit the hole, and it pushes the plate right out for me because my plates fit pretty tight. Grab my wrench down here, and you can see this comes up pretty quick. And you can throw it in a drill if you want. I mean, it's not a problem. But I'm about ready to start hitting, and when I do this, then I just push the discs up out of there, and you can see my router will actually come right up into the hole. And then this is my bit changing process. So that's a real nice feature. The little dot next to it is actually a Dado vacuum port, because if you've done a lot of Dados on your router, you'll notice that 90% of everything kicks out the front, and you usually end up with one hell of a mess out on the end of your table. And what this does is that when you start in, this is pretty much useless. When you start in and you hit this, you get a shot that goes out. So if you start real slow, you'll catch most of that first shot that takes off. And then as you go through and run, you won't see anything coming out here because it either gets sucked in here or here. When you lift your board up and turn it over and look at your dado, it's clean. I mean, this is just an absolute great feature. It is sweet. Feather boards, track feather boards, stop block on each end. Now this fence is quite a bit long because this is going to just transfer over to the cabinet when I get the cabinet built. And the cabinet will also have measuring tape on both sides so that you can set dead zero to the center of your bit. And then if you want to go 3/4 of an inch back, you just go 3/4 of an inch and you know you're there. So that feature will be nice. It's got sliding port on the fence, so you can close that fence up. When you do dados, you want all the vacuum going to these two places, so you just slide these together, close that up, and that kind of blocks that part and sends more vacuum to the other. Hung a bunch of tools and stuff on this side, and on this side I got a place to hang my feather blocks. And then back here I 3D printed all my vacuum connections, the adapter on the back of the box, and then 3D printed this, which is an adapter to it and my vacuum hose, and then the 1.5 inch goes up to the fence. That's all 3D printed, and it just pressure fits really tight. And then I have some different size hole blocks for different size bits. Simple back, very simple setup. This was an old piece of wood I had left over from tearing a piano apart years ago for getting some quality wood out of it for guitar tops and such. But anyway, hey, It works great for me, and I tell you, you guys want to build a router table, this is a great pattern to use. It's sweet. All right, later, gang.